Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 66. Stan, good to have you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, live stream number 66, we're going to be doing a reaction. Technically, this is the first reaction of this year, 2023. We're going to be checking out a couple tracks from the bands SHINEDOWN and DEFTONES. Now, to be honest, I would not describe myself as fans of either band. I don't have a problem with either band. There's actually a few songs from them that I do like. But, you know, they're just not really bands that I keep up with that much. But I figured we would check out a few of these songs that came out fairly recently. And one song is actually just a playthrough video that came through recently. So it's not even a new song, but I thought that might be kind of cool to check out someone playing a song. Real quick, let's see what's happening in the chat. Yeah, thanks, Stan. Stan's son, Logan, got to play drums for the youth group last night. It was his first time playing drums. He's been taking lessons with me, and his first time playing drums in front of other people and along with a full song. And he did a great job with it. I didn't get to see him afterwards, so I didn't get a chance to tell him, but I thought he did an awesome job, and it went well, and I'm looking forward to what's to come with that. But anyway, we're going to get into that reaction segment in a bit, but before we dive into it, I'm going to open up with a song. But let me ask you guys, how have you been? What you been up to? How's the new year treating you so far? You know, let me know what you guys have been up to and what are some things you're looking forward to. And I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you. This one's called Move On. Sorry, my guitar is having some issues. 1 second. I know I changed this battery fairly recently. I think it's not a dead battery. I think it's like a circuit problem. Like it's getting jostled around. All right, hopefully we don't have an issue. Let's try that again. To your progress. Ooh. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. Taste and see this bitter memory. But now you've been set free. Yeah! See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, so move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on, yourself at the end of your road. You know it's not over. When you find yourself at the end of your road, you know it's not over. You've been down this road more than once before, and it won't stop you this time. No. Say how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on. So move on. See how far you've come. Stay strong. You can move on. Thank you. Sorry about the technical issues. I don't know. I'll have to dig into that. I need to get one of those battery juice readers. Like, I don't know what you call them, but I'm pretty sure there is a device that can tell you how much how much power you've got left in your battery, like 9-volt batteries. For those of you who don't know, my guitar uses active pickups, which sound great, but they do require a 9-volt battery. Now, I've had this guitar for years, and in my experience, the batteries last quite a long time, and I actually feel like I replaced this one pretty recently. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know, like maybe the battery gets jostled around. I actually, I will say, I hate to say this, but as much, like, I love this guitar, and I've told the story about this guitar. This guitar is, super important to me. I love this guitar. I don't have any issues with it except for one little thing, and it's the battery. For some reason, it just doesn't seem to sit right. But I found a solution for it years ago. I just kind of wrapped some paper towel around it, just had a few wraps around it just to kind of thicken it up a little bit so it would kind of sit in there better and it wouldn't like move around as much. And that seemed to work, and, hadn't had a problem for a long time. But it does seem like whenever I change it, the issue arises again. So I might just have to, maybe I'll need to plug it in at home a little more and play around with it and hopefully find find a solution to the issue. All right, let's see what we got here. Stan saying, I have restrained from listening, so this would be my first time hearing. Okay, I see. For the couple songs we're checking out. So Stan's going to be reacting along with me. That sounds good. Thumbs up from Stan saying, awesome, man. Sounds great. The early growl. Yep. Don't know how long they have been on the shelf. I suppose that is a plausible issue, that they could be there, but you would think, I guess that's actually, you might be resolving, you might be helping me out a little bit, because usually the batteries I'm using are not like fresh ones that I bought. They're actually, from a pack that I've had in my guitar case. So you might have just, you might have helped me find an issue there, a solution there. Maybe the problem is the batteries I'm grabbing are not like super fresh batteries. They're, even though they haven't been used, they've just been in the case for who knows how long. So yeah, thanks, Dan. That might be the solution right there. So I might need to try to find from now on, what I would probably do is, rather than buying like a big pack of batteries, because that's kind of what I've done. I bought like bigger packs of 9 volts because I figure, I'm going to need them again. But I guess I'm better off buying just the small pack from time to time. So cool. Thanks, Dan. That's really helpful. So sweet. Anyone out there who's just joining us, don't be shy. Say hello. Again, this is live stream number 66, and we're going to be checking out a few songs in a little bit here. Trying to wait for a few more people to show up, but we're going to be checking out a song from the band SHINEDOWN and the band DEFTONES. Now, Stan, are you familiar with either of those bands, SHINEDOWN and DEFTONES? I think both have been around for quite a while. I'm pretty sure. Stan says they might work for you. I mean, hey, I hate to let anything go to waste. So if there's a way you can use them, I'm not sure what you would use them for. I'm not sure what you're referring to that you could use them, but by all means, you're certainly welcome to. If they're not going to work for me, you're certainly welcome to use them. Yeah, SHINEDOWN and DEFTONES. They've been around for a while. Let's see here. I'm not sure which band has been around longer. I want to say DEFTONES, because I think DEFTONES was back in the 90s, and I think SHINEDOWN was more like early 2000s, but I could be wrong about that. And again, yeah, there's a couple songs from each band that, I've checked out some DEFTONE tracks. I would say DEFTONES is definitely the band that maybe appeals to me more out of the two. DEFTONES is kind of, the little bit I've heard of them, they're kind of like vibey hard rock, like they've got a few songs that just have kind of a cool atmosphere to them, and they use some pretty cool some pretty chords along with the intensity of their music and stuff, and so at best DEFTONES can be pretty catchy, and I like some of their songs, and at worst they can be a bit too just atmospheric, and I like melodies. I like something catchy. I want to listen to like a song. I'm not just listening for an experience. So, I think that's the appeal of a band like DEFTONES. I think most people like kind of the vibe of the band. And then SHINEDOWN's kind of like sort of your typical radio rock band. To be honest, they've had a couple songs that are pretty catchy, but the majority of their sound, I wouldn't say is like super, in line with the kind of stuff that I like. But, I'm willing to give them a chance. Again, both of these bands are not that far from the ballpark of what I'm doing, so that's kind of the reason why we're even checking them out at all. So we'll see. Well, I'll tell you what, Stan, I'm going to go ahead and play one more song, and hopefully we'll have a few other people show up, and if not, well, then you and I will just dive right into the reaction segment and get going. But I'm going to go ahead and play an instrumental track. Let me get it set up real quick. If I can find it. There we go. All right. This is an instrumental track. This one will go out to you, Stan. Hey, we got Daniel in the chat. Good evening, Daniel. How are you doing? How's your week been? Just to get you up to speed, let's see. I'm just going to play another song real quick, and then we're going to dive into the reaction segment. I'm just going to play a quick instrumental. But yeah, we were waiting for a few more people to show up, so awesome. Glad to have you. Always glad to have you in the chat. For this stream, we're going to be checking out the bands, a couple songs from the bands SHINEDOWN and DEFTONES. I would imagine you're familiar with those bands, but maybe you aren't. And if so, what do you think of those guys? You a fan of either band? Do you not care for their music? I just expressed a moment ago that DEFTONES has a few songs. I think both bands have a few songs that I kind of like, but DEFTONES has a few songs that I think have kind of some pretty chords in them, with the intense, guitars and stuff, and they kind of have they do have kind of a cool vibe and atmosphere, but I do think sometimes most of their music can be more about the atmosphere and the vibe than, writing a melody with like a catchy hook or something, and that's more what I like. I want I want a melody to grasp onto, but their style is pretty cool though. And then SHINEDOWN, I think they have maybe a couple songs I'm okay with, but they are kind of like your typical radio rock band. And so a lot of their stuff's maybe just a little cookie cutter and almost a little, I almost want to say maybe a little, I don't want to say southern rock, but, has something to it that just doesn't quite doesn't quite target me, but you know, but they're in kind of a similar ballpark, so that's why we're checking out their music. But like I said, I'm going to play an instrumental in just a moment here. Daniel says, doing good, just ate some cheeseburgers, full now. Man, I love a good burger. Gosh, yeah, that'd be nice to know that after this stream I'd have a cheeseburger to go to, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Stan's having pizza. Pizza's always a good choice, too. Daniel says, I've heard of both, but can't remember the names of the songs. Once I hear it, I'll remember. There might be something that I like by the Deftones. Yeah, I could probably agree. It's kind of funny. I don't know if I can name a Deftones song. I know there's a couple I like because I've added them to playlists, but I'm actually kind of newer to Deftones, believe it or not. I you know, maybe kind of checked them out like a few months ago or a year ago or something like that, and so kind of checked them out. There were a few songs I liked. The ones I liked, I added to a playlist. And I will say this, you know, I have a playlist for songs that I might buy, you know, so, and there were a few Deftones songs that made that playlist, so I can say there are some Deftones songs that I liked, but even the ones I like, I don't even know if I can name them. And then SHINEDOWN, again, I think, I'm pretty sure one of the songs we're going to check out. We're going to check out a new song by them, fairly new song, and one of their big hit songs, so. Daniel trying to avoid the temptation of pizza, so Stan, you just keep that pizza to yourself. All right. Here's an instrumental. This one goes out to Stan, and then we're going to dive into our reaction segment. Okay. Again, just in case you noticed, Daniel, I'm having a few battery issues with my guitar, and I think it's just a placement thing, like, because I changed them fairly recently, but yeah, so it's like I'm noticing, like, once I get it going, it's like it's fine, but if I switch to my neck pickup and then I switch back, it like takes a moment for it to register. Now, hopefully, you know, one thing that Stan mentioned is yes, it's a battery for my pickups. And so what was I going to say? Yeah, Stan actually mentioned that, you know, maybe maybe they are older batteries that I was using. So maybe even though I changed the batteries fairly frequently, wow, I combined frequently and recently, even though I changed them fairly recently, maybe they've just been sitting in the case for too long or something. So that might be an issue. Haven't really had a problem before. Usually I just change them and then they last. They last for a pretty long time. But again, maybe the batteries I was using are have just been kind of sitting in the case for a while, and I don't know if that would have any effect on them or if they should work fine. Not really sure. So. Okay, have you taken the back panel apart, moved wires? I haven't. Usually, to be honest, I've never been much of a guitar technician. That's not to say that I, couldn't give it a try or something. And I've actually got a brother-in-law who's pretty good with that kind of thing. So, yeah, I might have to give that a shot. If I don't know. I'll have to experiment some. So hopefully we can make it through this stream. But at some point I'll have to. I don't actually plug in my guitar all that much at home. In fact, I almost play unplugged more at home than I do, plugged in most of the time. So I probably need to just play around with it at home, kind of plug it in, and maybe just run a few little tests and see if I can figure it out. But again, like I said, hopefully it'll survive for this stream. We'll see. But let's see here. Stanley was replying to Daniel saying, "Man, I have got to have bread." LOL. Some laughing. I had some low-carb buns for my burgers, but they are good. Yeah. So as far as like food goes, I mean, I don't know. I eat bread too, but it's just important to pair it up with other things, Like, I don't think carbs are bad. You just have to balance them out. The key word is balance, You don't want to only consume carbs, You want to make sure you're getting your fruits and veggies in there. And in general, I just try to eat from a little bit of every food group, So you get like some bread, you get some dairy, whether it's milk or yogurt, Greek yogurt ideally. Or some kind of good cheese like Swiss or provolone cheese, something like that. Again, some fruit, some vegetables, maybe some nuts or something. Trying to think what else there might be. I don't know. But, like whenever I eat a meal, I try to kind of just have a variety of sources so I'm not just eating like all of one thing. But, oh yeah, meat, Forgot to throw that one in there. So, cool. Stanley said double kick. Yep, that program drum can play those double kicks pretty good. No, I don't program anything that I can't play. So, and I actually made a playthrough video for that song, that one I just played, that instrumental. It's yeah, but double kick is nice. I definitely like to have it when I can. Try to implement that a lot. I remember the first time like hearing double bass. First time you discover double bass, you're like super blown away by it, and just that's all you want to hear is just like a song like, man, listen to that double kick. And as a drummer, like once you learn it, it's not too bad. Like don't get me wrong, there's some really intense speeds that are like, wow, that is really impressive. But just learning the double kick technique, it's one of those like, it's not that hard, but once you learn it, it's very effective in having an impact. Just like hearing the double bass, it instantly cranks up the intensity. So it's a cool effect for sure. I know I have to get better. And Stan, I think again, I think commenting again on diet with age, just kind of getting better and stuff. But yeah, it's all just about balance, just managing what you're eating and stuff. But you guys aren't here to hear me talk about diet. I mean, if y'all want me to, I do have some thoughts on nutrition, but we're here to react to some music. So let's dive into our reaction segment. So let me get things set up here real quick. Oh, by the way, just a quick little shout out. Daniel recently posted a video of him playing the song Mr. Crowley, and just playing all the guitar parts. So he's playing the rhythm parts and the lead parts and the solos. And man, Daniel, you shred, dude. Like just he was killing those solos. And so if you want to see some shredding, be sure to check out Daniel's video. It's his latest video on his channel. of him playing Mr. Crowley. And I quite like your guitars. I know you were playing, you know, I don't know the model names. I know they're both Jacksons. You had the black and yellow one was the one you were playing. And if I remember correctly, I don't think you picked up the red one, but in the background I could see the red. So I was going to ask you, Daniel, how many guitars do you have? Do you just have those two, or do you have more than that? And I've always liked Jackson because I can't say I have much experience like playing them myself, but a lot of the bands I like use Jackson. So and they just make cool looking guitars. I'm pretty sure. I think the Faceless used Jackson for a little bit. I think Michael Keene's using a different guitar brand now these days. But back when I first discovered him, I believe he was playing Jackson. Pretty sure Periphery uses Jackson, and maybe a couple other like, especially like in the tech metal, you know, that kind of realm. There's some bands using Jackson. I actually remember Michael Keene doing like these guitar promos for Jackson. He did like 5 different videos. And I used those videos to learn some pretty fun songs to play on guitar, just by watching and kind of listening and picking out what he was doing. But I remember the guitars he was playing were pretty cool looking. So, all right, got some. I'm not sure. Yeah, so we got some emojis from Stan and then said, I will. I didn't get that. Unless you're just referring to the video that I just talked about. Maybe saying he's going to check it out. But I will check it out. I must have missed it. Okay. Yeah, so Stanley might have missed it. But yeah, be sure to check it out. Stan, Daniel, give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready to go. And we'll dive into this reaction segment. The first song we're going to check out is from SHINEDOWN. This is apparently a pretty new song. It came out just about 2 months ago. And I don't know if the song is called Daylight Video or if the song is called Daylight and this is the video for the song. That's why you use those quotations. The quotation marks or whatever, so you can tell what's the title and what's the subject or whatever. So I think the song is called Daylight, but they should have had quotations around it. But either way, Daylight Video is what we're about to watch. Daniel says, thanks. It's a tough song. I have 5 guitars. The Jackson X series, RR24, black and yellow, Jackson Red V, an acoustic PV, cheap, a Washburn LPT80 Carina, 1 of 1,000. That's pretty cool. And my first Washburn guitar. That's pretty cool. What was it? I know someone had a Washburn bass. I don't know if my family owned a Washburn bass or if our church did, but I remember having a Washburn bass and that being pretty nice. It was a very solid instrument. Yeah, sounds like a pretty good collection of instruments right there. Right now, I've just got the one guitar. I'm a bit of a minimalist myself. I would have an acoustic. The only reason I don't even have an acoustic is because I have my dad and my sibling, my siblings, but I live with my dad and my brother, and both of them have acoustic guitars and nice ones. My dad's got a Taylor and my brother's got a Martin, so I kind of don't need an acoustic guitar. I have access to one, but someday I'm sure I'll need my own. So that's probably the next guitar I'll need to get, and at some point later in the future, I've always kind of thought it'd be fun to, I would like to invest in a good studio guitar. And don't get me wrong, this guy has done great, but I'd like to kind of, I don't mean just buy one off the shelf, but buy a certain guitar I want and then kind of customize it a little bit with the pickups I want and the kind of bridge I want and that sort of thing. So, so we'll see what happens. So someday I may get there, but right now, I'm very pleased and grateful for what I have. So looks like everyone's ready. Let's give this song a shot. And, you guys should be able to hear it. Here we go. This is my first time hearing it. This is a song from SHINEDOWN. I think it's called Daylight. But this is a song called Daylight Video.
I was diagnosed with a fear of getting too close. Had to tell the ones I love I was on the road.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackson, Randy Rhoads. And you love it. Yep, it's a pretty sweet guitar. Now, one thing I will say, these reactions I've been doing, kind of have to be careful, because sometimes I'll get a copyright strike on the video, and then it'll restrict the video so that no one else can see it. So I might have to like pause from time to time. All right, so we got this soft intro, a lot of piano stuff. Would not just someone knows the words. Definitely would not describe this as a, hard rock song, at least not yet. Gonna see if it kicks in a moment here.
It's amazing what the hard times can reveal. Like who shows up, who walks away, and who's for real. So take
It's pretty cool, the audience with all the phone lights. I guess back in the day, it used to be like lighters. I guess it's good that it's not lighters anymore, right? Hopefully people aren't smoking anymore and taking care of their lungs. Calm before the storm. That's what I'm hoping. But we are, almost halfway through and hasn't really kicked in yet. All right, drummer looks like he's getting ready. Nope. Here we go. Good day. There we go. So now it's kind of kicking in. So this is definitely like kind of an anthem song. I don't know if I've ever written an anthem. I don't know if I'm ever going to. Now, I'm guessing this song has something to do with cancer. Going soft again. This kind of sounds like a commercial song, like this is playing in the background, and then like it's like the insurance company that cares for you, like that kind of thing. Might have a solo here. Got fireworks. I mean, people seem to be responding, so, good for them. They're not bad, but just not my style. A little too ballady. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, like, look at that audience. Like, clearly there are people, getting hyped over this song and over this band. And so, that's great, but I don't know. It's kind of, emotion is such a weird thing, especially in music, because by this video, it looks like it's a really emotional song, and it looks like it's like I'm sure if you read the comments, people are like, man, this song means so much to me, and like, I just cry when I hear this song. Like, look, this song brings tears to my eyes. Like, that's what the first comment says. This song brings me to tears like many other SHINEDOWN songs, and it's funny, I don't know, people say that, and to me it feels kind of, I don't know, kind of artificial, like, I don't know if that's just, like, I don't know if it's, I I don't know if I'm out of the loop or something. Like, I don't know if I'm misinterpreting it, but I don't know. To me, it just, it doesn't seem that genuine to me. It seems kind of manufactured, like it's supposed to be emotional. It's supposed to kind of tug at the heartstrings, and to me, it just, I'm not sure that it does. And yeah. And the only other thing, besides the emotional portion, I mean, the song just ended, and I can't even remember what the chorus sounded like, It's just, I don't know, the melody was just kind of all over the place, and just kind of, I don't know, not the most memorable song. But again, I'm not, they've obviously got like a huge following, and that song obviously means something to someone, so good for them, good for that. But yeah, for me, I just can't say it really resonates with me much. So, all right. And I was kind of hoping it'd be kind of more of a rockin' song, and unfortunately, it was a bit more of a ballad. And that's kind of the funny thing, is like there is a category for a ballad or for an anthem, and it's kind of got me thinking, as a songwriter, am I ever going to write a ballad or an anthem? I'm not sure. Stan says you're getting old like me, and if this is not a new band, so actually, Stan, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think I'm old. Actually, I think it's my age group that this band is registering to. Let me do a quick Google search. Let's see. Well, let's just go to Wikipedia, and let's look up SHINEDOWN. Let's see how long they've been around for. I'm pretty sure this band's been around since the early 2000s. Yep, they started in 2001, so they've been active for over 20 years. So it's not like, man, this new music just doesn't register with me, It ain't like the old stuff. No, that's not it at all. There have been songs like this for a while. Back in the early 2000s, there were these manufactured anthems and ballads, and I just, to me, it's just, yeah, I really appreciate authenticity and being genuine, and so when something feels artificial, it's just kind of, it doesn't connect with me. It doesn't register with me. I have certainly heard, probably not many, but I'm certain that I've heard, ballads or anthems that are, a bit more genuine, a bit more heartfelt. Of course, I'm not going to be able to think of any at the top of my head, but pretty sure there's some like old songs that, yeah, have a lot of heart to them. And but yeah, my bad, but this was like a going away party for them. I mean, yeah, maybe. As far as I can tell, they're still active, but if it was a going away party, then I could understand the emotion. Oh, we're going to miss you guys, but, you can play music quite into your old age, so I don't think they'd be going away anytime soon. I'm not sure that they'd do it. Daniel says, kind of like the 80s, too. If you wanted to be up there as a metal band, then the music companies wanted you to write a ballad. But I think there are some bands that can write them, but keep their style. And I'm pretty certain that you're right about that. Again, like, I'm drawing a blank just because it's not like I listen to ballads all the time, but I'm pretty sure they exist. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, Daniel says this was a little too commercial-ish. And that's the thing. I think, now obviously, like, the good ballads probably have some similar attributes to what we just heard. But that's the problem. People hear the good one, and they're like, oh, so we just need to start with the piano, and the second verse we need to kick in with an acoustic guitar, and we need like a melody that kind of like that, an audience can sing along with, and they kind of like, they take like the ingredients, but what they're missing is the genuine heart behind it, like not to, I would think, like I just say this because as a songwriter, I've always described songwriting as more of a discovery than a creation. I'm not just picking like, okay, we need this, so let's do this, and we need that, so let's do that. It's more like, hey, that sounded cool. Let's see what happens if I try this. No, I didn't like that, but what if we go this way with it, you know? And I think that's the difference. I think most songwriters who write authentically, I'm certain that it's more of a discovery process. It's more of them writing and finding something that resonates with them and helps them express what they're trying to express, rather than trying to recreate based off of what someone else has done before and trying to just use the ingredients to manufacture something that, it just comes out as a product and not like a genuine expression. So maybe that's it. But I say that, and apparently some people still relate to it. Although I will say this, maybe it could be the lyrics, you know? So I will say this, people do listen to music differently. And sometimes what resonates with people is different from person to person. And so maybe for this particular song, what is resonating with people is not the music, but the lyrics, you know? Maybe there are words and it's just like, hey, these words just describe what I'm going through, and that encourages me, you know? When I listen to the song, the first thing I'm listening to, I'm listening for melodies. You know, I'm trying to hear like a melody that's like, okay, that moves me, that connects me. I'm listening for chord progressions. And so that whole song, it didn't have to kick in. It could have stayed a piano song, but, you know, it just needed some prettier chords and like a catchier melody to really resonate with me. And, you know, it just felt kind of generic. But, you know, I say that, but what I wasn't really listening to, I'll say this, I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, you know. I was just kind of listening to the music and the melody. I'll say that. Wasn't really listening to the words. I heard them, but I wasn't like, that's not what I'm focusing on. Someone else who listens to this, that might be the first thing that they focus on. They might be listening to the song, and when they say they're listening to the song, they're not listening to the chord progression. They're not listening to the melody. They're listening to the words. So maybe that's kind of the difference. Some of the clips in the video I have seen before in other videos. Yeah, it wasn't, well, it's kind of interesting that you say that. I'm not sure what other videos you're referencing, but it looked like it was just kind of like a compilation of, like memories, like, hey, here's, from other shows, here's like audience reactions and engagement. So it was kind of felt like a tribute to the audience or something, they were trying to make this kind of big, memorable highlight video. Daniel says, listen to We Are Stars. That's the metal version of We Are the World. And it's close to a ballad, but Ronnie James Dio kept it metal still. A song video with many, many huge legends. That's pretty cool. I'll definitely have to check that one out. This song almost seems like someone said, we need you to come up with a ballad for popularity. This might sound cliche, but it doesn't sound like it comes from the heart. Maybe it does, though. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Is like my first impression is that it doesn't feel genuine. It feels like you said, like someone was like, hey, we need you to write a ballad. But I could be wrong, maybe they put their heart into it, and for whatever reason, it just does not resonate with me. So I don't know. It's an interesting topic. It's an interesting thing to dive into. So I'll definitely check out that We Are Stars song sometime and see how that goes. We might check it out in a moment here, but let's give SHINEDOWN another chance. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to do that. The song we're going to check out is Second Chance. So this is one of their old songs. This is more of like an upbeat rock song. And this is a pretty good song. I'm not going to say it's like, oh, I love this song, but I have a feeling you guys might have heard this. But yeah, let's give SHINEDOWN a second chance and see what we think of this song. So this one is called Second Chance. And this came out back when I was in high school.
When you look at a star, you're
After
looking
this
back
ad
in time.
about stars.
But I see the future. I see myself.
Now I don't know about the new song, but this one might have to like pause this one at certain points. right, here we go. Second chance. I'm actually going to pause it at the beginning just to see if I can, like... Yeah, so we got, like... Almost sounded like a 12-string guitar, or like there's a mandolin blended in there or something, but a little bit of acoustic. I'm guessing that's the rest of the band, so she joined the band. No, I think they just happened to be on the bus, but yeah, I like music videos that tell a story, and it looks like that one did. Again, I was kind of reading the comments, so I can't say, and I was listening more to the song, but I guess she was the big sister. I think that's I thought she was maybe a mom at first, but it looked like the other two were the parents, and they were arguing or something, and looked like she had dreams. I missed what the sign said, but something about ballet. See if I can find that. Yeah, that right there. The contact ballet company now auditioning. So auditioning for some kind of opportunity with ballet. And so she's running away to chase the dream and stuff. And it's kind of funny. I can say, as a musician, someone obviously going after my dream, with music, and maybe it's just different times. I think with the internet and digital age, the journey to going after your dream has changed a little bit. Before, maybe you did have to move away. And I actually always thought I did. When I was younger, I was kind of prepared. Like, I was kind of careful not to be too involved with anything, like too committed to anything, because I was thinking one day I'm going to be moving away. But that's not really how the business works anymore. That's not how things work anymore. You don't have to move to Nashville to have a career in music. You don't have to move to Hollywood to have a career in movies. With the internet, there are different ways to be involved in the business and be able to express yourself, create the content, be the person you want to be, doing the kind of work you want to do. So definitely a great resource that has changed things. But either way, cool video. Good luck to her. Hopefully she gets her. Hopefully she made it. Hopefully she got her ballet career. But all right, guys. So. Yeah, I think that's a solid song, but that's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those songs, like I have a feeling that's probably the only song that I'm going to like by the band, Maybe they have some other tracks, but I don't know. I might not be the target audience, so... All right, we're going to try some Deftones in a moment, but first we're going to shift gears, and I'm going to play a song for you guys. So, yeah, give me just a moment to get things set up here. Yeah, getting rid of that window. Cool. Am I still coming through? You guys still out there? Don't know if y'all have any thoughts on that particular song, but yeah, it's a pretty popular one, so I had a feeling we'd all heard it. But like I said, it's probably came out back when I was like in high school or something like that. So. I think they were in drop C. Tell my mama, tell my... Oh, I was right the first time. No, it wasn't. That's not the song I'm going to do. All right, cool. Just making sure. All right. Well, I'm going to play a song for you guys. This is one this is actually the song I'm hoping to release next. This month has kind of been about sort of refining things. Again, a lot of it I'm still trying to get in the rhythm of doing, but I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I have a goal to release 8 songs this year, and this is actually the first song I'm hoping to release this year, so a fairly new one. You guys have maybe heard me play it a few times, but this is definitely one of my newer songs. And yeah, this one's called Erase Myself. I'll brace myself for all this pain, erase myself and start again. Grab a hold of me and throw show me the flame that burns inside of me, and I'll brace myself for all this pain, erase myself and start again, and I'll face myself with honesty, erase myself and start again. Yeah, yeah. Without the refiner, it's time to change what used to define me. Resist the pain, how to keep fighting, ignite the flame that's deep down inside me. First, but worth all the pain to see myself and not be ashamed. It hurts at first, but worth all the pain. Not be ashamed. And I'll brace myself for all this pain, erase myself and and start again. And I'll face myself with honesty, erase myself, and start again. Thank you. Yep, again, that one's called Erase Myself, and I'm hoping to release that one this year. Yep, hoping to get that one produced and coming out. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. Daniel says, your voice is sounding good today. Sometimes I think it's the, sometimes I think it's the song. I've definitely been working on it. Been practicing that particular song. If anyone, Stan's been here almost every stream, so there's that high note on Face Myself, and I'll face myself. And I've been practicing that. There's a mixed voice technique to kind of help hit those higher notes. And today was better. You know, it was still tough to get those high notes, but in the past, I've completely bombed that high note. And I don't know what it is. That song, singing's a weird thing, because it's not just like, if you can sing good, then you're going to do good on any song. Like, some songs are easier to sing than others. And for whatever reason, that song, I don't know, I guess it's just got the right elements that work for me. Like, it's in a good range, and I don't know. That's a song I feel good singing. And then there are other songs like my song, A Place to Call Home. That's probably the hardest song for me to sing, to be honest. That song's tough. And it's funny, kind of stings, because it's, I know the music video that I posted did really well, so I'm kind of assuming it's one of my, more popular songs. At least right now it is. It's also one of my older songs. So, I try to pull it out just because I feel like, it's a catchy song. I feel like it's a good one. But that's a tough song to sing. So. But either way, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. All right, so we tried out SHINEDOWN, and yeah, you were there. So so we're gonna try DEFTONES now. Let's see here. Daniel said, yeah, I think it's been said Jeff Tate has used a technique like that. Pharyngeal technique or something like that. Yeah. Well, I'll explain it real quick. So it's a technique called mixed voice. So there's kind of two registers. There's your chest voice, which is like what I'm speaking in right now. So I can sing in this, hey, yeah, hey, I can sing in that as well. But when you start getting to those higher notes, it's a little harder. Like if you're using your chest voice and you try to, that wasn't even, that was still mixed voice. I'm kind of learning how to trigger that. But you almost, if you're using your chest voice, you end up straining for those higher notes. And then there's head voice. Head voice is that, it's also known as falsetto. It's that high voice, that thin, kind of whispery voice. And you can sing in your head voice, and it's easier to hit higher notes with that, but obviously it sounds kind of soft, kind of thin. So usually for like a softer song, that's when you might go up to your head voice or something. But when you're wanting to hit something high with power, it's like, how do you do that? Well, you kind of blend the two. That's why it's called mixed voice. But it's really weird. It's almost like it's a strange sensation. The way you train it, you train your chest voice and you kind of extend the range. You kind of try to sing up into the high range of your chest voice, and then you bring down your head voice. You build up a good head voice. So like a good high note, ha, I can hit that easily in my head voice. But if I start going lower, ha, about there, so there's lower notes, or lower for the chest voice. They're harder to do in my head voice. It's wanting to switch. You can hear that crack in my voice. Like that's a lot easier to hit in my chest voice than it is my head voice. So you're kind of training the ranges to sort of cross over a little bit. And then when you hit it, it's I don't know, it's weird to explain. It's a strange sensation, but you're almost trying to hit that. You're almost trying to hit that high note softly, like you just kind of, hey, you know, kind of like you're, I don't know, it's almost like you're squeezing but not straining. It's like just a soft squeeze or something. And so that's how those power metal vocalists can do like that. Ow! You know, that like really high stuff. You know, they like that wasn't my head voice. That wasn't that. You know, that's falsetto. But to do the mixed voice, you can kind of get a little more of that blend in there and just kind of add a little more punch to those high notes. So it's a technique I've been working on, and lately I've been feeling a lot better with it. Like it's coming a lot easier. Now I just got to get it sounding good. So it's like, you know, first you got to get the technique, then you kind of start to ease it into being able to apply it. But yeah, so there's your vocal lesson for the day. All right, we're going to try out some Deftones. Like I said, Deftones, they've got a few tracks that are pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to share a Deftones song that I like in a moment here. But this is a video that came out recently. This is actually a playthrough from the guitarist. The guitarist in the band, his name is Steven Carpenter, and this is one of their songs called Knife Party. I believe this is an older song, but he is doing a guitar playthrough. So I'm not even sure if I've heard this song before. So, yeah, but we're going to check out his guitar playing. I thought this might be interesting. You know, we usually on these reactions, we check out mostly just music videos and songs, but we're going to check out an actual guitar playthrough. Now, I will say this, before this stops, oh, sorry, I gotta get it so you guys can hear it. Yeah. So before this starts, let me just say, I'm kind of curious what this is going to be, because I think Deftones make some pretty cool songs, but I don't know them to be like, you know, it's not like they're like a technical metal band or anything like that, and I don't know them to do a lot of guitar solos. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing a guitar playthrough, because I know their music to be a bit more atmospheric, like they use a lot of effects and just, you know, basic power chords and that kind of thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of interesting that he's doing a guitar playthrough. So I don't know if this song has something interesting to showcase with the guitar or what. So, yeah, so we'll see what we get here. This is Knife Party by Deftones. So this is from the album White Pony, which I think is an older album of theirs. I wonder if that's the tuning right there. And I mean, that's kind of cool of him to, you know, I'm sure there's people who want to learn the song, so. And hey, maybe he's just doing a playthrough just so fans can learn the song, you know? And if so, I think that's cool. I know when a band I like makes a video like this, I love it. You know, I love it when I can see their hands. Like, yes, I can learn this song. Because, yeah, right now, you know, definitely nothing complicated on the guitar. So far, you know, kind of just vibey rock. I like that chord change. Kind of interesting. this is me personally, but I feel like when I hear a lot of Deftones songs, it's like on the verge of being somewhere I like, you know? Like I like the emotional vibe of this, you know? I like the chord progressions they're choosing. You know, it's kind of sad, kind of, like I like that. That sounds so good. And I think it's, like, I think that note they're hitting, go get your knife, like, I like that. But I guess it's the verses. The vocals are a little drony, you know? Not that part, but... I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not sure that there's a strong vocal melody. Stanley says he got lost. Where are you? Are you at your house? Vocals like they want me to go to sleep. And yeah, I think that's kind of the point. They're almost like lazy vocals a little bit. Like, but that's intentional. You know, that kind of thing. And for me, I don't think it's... Like, because again, I like that part. So I don't think it's the way he's singing. I think it's just... the melody. It's not like a super strong vocal melody. Because believe it or not, I'm actually okay with this. Like this would be a cool song to play, like if you're driving through a city at night, you know, like all the lights and stuff. So I'm cool with that. You know, interesting. So, yeah. So here's my initial thoughts. It's, again, like I said, it's kind of on the verge of something I could like, but it's not quite there. And I think the reason why is because I like a lot of the chords they're playing. I like the emotional tone of the music. So it's like the ingredients are there, and it's like, okay, this sounds like something I could like. But I think what it's sort of lacking is a strong melody. The vocals, especially in the verses, are kind of... They're hitting notes I like, but they're not singing in a pattern that kind of like... kind of gets like stuck in my head. Daniel says not too bad. And yeah, I would agree. You know, I definitely like this, I think, over... What's kind of interesting, I like this tone over the other songs. Like, as far as like the kind of emotion or vibe I want from music, I would pick this over the other songs. But again, the song Second Chance, I think, has the catchier like vocal melodies, you know, like it's so for me what would be perfect is to blend those two to get like this kind of vibe, but to have, you know, a strong hook, kind of like what we heard in Second Chances or something like that. And so that's kind of that's probably my opinion in most of Deftones music. It's like it's almost there, you know. And again, I think it's kind of supposed to be that way. It's almost more supposed to be atmospheric and kind of vibey. But the only problem with that, like for me, that makes it more appropriate for like background music. You know, this is more like soundtrack music. And I say that like I would put this on while I'm, you know, not that I study, you know, but like, you know, if I'm like researching or something, you know, just if I'm working on something and I need some background music, this is kind of a track that would work well in the background, you know, but this isn't like a song I'd put on like, hey, I want to sing along with this or something like that. So, you know, I kind of dig it. Like, there's parts of it I like. Now, the guitar playthrough itself, I'm curious. I'm trying to read. Yeah, no notes or anything. Let's see here. Okay, so I was trying to see if there was any like context clues. I don't know. I'm not sure what the motivation for making this playthrough video. Again, the song came out a while back. This video just came out like a few months ago. Not even a few, really. Like, it came out pretty recently. Oh, only a month ago. Yeah. So yeah, this video came out like a month ago. But this is an old song of theirs. And like I said, you know, at the beginning, where's it at? Right there. He's got the tuning right there. I guess it's in the key of D. I guess that's what that parentheses is. But looks like they're in drop C. Are they? Let's see. Yeah, they're in drop C. So, you know, maybe they just made this for the fans. Maybe this is just a, hey, fans like this song. Let me do a video playing it so they can learn how to play it on guitar, you know. It might be that simple. And if that's the case, you know, that's cool. I can't say there's anything like, you know, impressive about the guitar part, but the song itself is cool. So I figured what we would do, though, there is a Deftones song that I do like, so that's the one I'm going to share next. And I'd be curious, see if we can hear a difference, because I think tonally, this song has a similar tone, but I think you might notice that this one maybe has a stronger melody. This is a song called Be Quiet and Drive, and I do quite like this song.
Dion,
After this ad.
now, how does that make you feel?
Like a part of me is
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I do like these chords here. And this is from like early 2000s, I think. Certainly looks like 2000s. Like, that chord progression wins my heart, you know. I think it's a 1-3 chord progression. But I love the way that sounds. And even the melody he's singing, it's almost simpler than what he was doing in the other song, and so maybe that kind of helps it. Actually, I was wrong. I think this is a 1-6 chord progression, not a 1-3. Yeah, it's a 1-6. I will say, it's still not like a super strong melody, but I do like the notes he's hitting with his voice. Because I'm a sucker for like 7th chords and 9 chords, which are typically, when you hear those, you think like jazz chords, but in rock, you know, I don't know. There's some pretty emotional sounding notes. So. That half step down, you know. Doesn't sound familiar, so I guess Daniel hasn't heard this. Well, to be honest, like I said, I really only started checking out Deftones like a few months ago, maybe a year ago, and like maybe I inadvertently heard some of their songs, but like I couldn't even name this song. You know, like I know I like this song, but I couldn't tell you the title of it. I had to find it, you know, in a playlist. Stan says, I need more. And I'd be curious, Stan. I think I know what you mean, but I wonder if you know what you mean. So can you articulate that? Can you tell me what's missing from this? Almost at the end here. There we go. Now, if you say more as in parts, I could agree with that a little. It's a little redundant, you know. Doesn't have a whole lot of change to it. But thankfully, it's not like, I mean, it is 3.5 minutes. I mean, that's like, you know, you could fit in more parts, but what they have, I like. But again, it's, I think it's the vocals. The vocals, again, are just kind of, like, I like the notes he's hitting, but it's not like it's a catchy melody or something like that, you know? Like, if I were to sing it now, it's not like, hey, do you know what song this is? You know, it's like it's just holding out like these notes for really long. It's not the same thing as if, well, again, if we go back to Shinedown, tell my, you know, if I do that, you could probably be like, hey, I know what song that is, you know? But if I were to sing the melody to this song, you probably couldn't guess. And so that's kind of an example. Like, I don't know. Music's such an interesting thing, man. But that's what I really appreciate. I like a good melody. So, like I said, if you were to combine those two, if you were to take this vibe, because again, I love the chords they're hitting. I like the emotional tone of the song. But if you could just add like a catchier melody. Now, thankfully, I don't think we have any Deftones fans watching, because I'm pretty sure they have a pretty strong fan base, but let me try something real quick. Stanley says, think it depends on your mood, but yeah. All right, so don't know if I'm playing it exactly right, but you know. So he's kind of just doing like, you know, just something like that. But if it was more like, let's see. If it had a little more of a pattern, then maybe it could be a little catchier or something like that. Now, I just made that off the top of my head, so I'm not saying that's like a better melody, you know? But the point is trying to come up with something a little more with a pattern and not just these like long sustained notes. Because again, I like the notes he's hitting, but if there's a bit more of a pattern there and not so drony, you know. And so, yeah, I kind of agree. It could sort of depends on the mood you're in. But that does sound like a good song to just sort of like sit back and chill to. But cool. Let's see here. Well, let me go ahead and play a song. I've got one more Deftones song we might react to. I'm not sure. But we'll see here. And I'm not even sure if it's like a new song or what. But let me go ahead and play an instrumental for you guys. And we'll see. Maybe we'll do another reaction in a moment here. And hey, you guys could see that video, right? I'm so sorry if I didn't have it open. Oh my gosh. If I didn't have it open, these reaction segments. But so hopefully y'all could see the video. If you couldn't, I very much apologize, but at least you could hear the song. All right. Darn it, I'm sorry, guys. Y'all are allowed to say something. If I'm watching a video and you can't see it, you're allowed to say, hey, where's the video? And then that way I could bring it up for you guys. So, man, I'm sorry about that. I mean, I don't think you missed much. The first one was just him playing guitar. Here, I'll even show you. You didn't miss much, but... So the first video, let's see here. Well, here's the one we just watched, and it's just, the band and some shots. I'm trying to find the band, and we get these, it's just a band. They're, under a bridge or something. I'll even play it. Yeah. That's pretty much all it is, just different shots of the band playing. And then, we get kind of these artsy, out of focus shots in a moment here. It's like these close-ups. Yeah, with lips and hands and the back of heads. It's kind of artsy. So, but not like a story or anything unfolding. I think it's, again, more of a sensation kind of thing. And I think that's kind of the intent of the band, is to be more to stimulate the senses more so than writing catchy songs or anything like that. And then this was the other one. All it was, so you couldn't even see what I was referring to earlier. It says Knife Party from the album White Pony, and then at the bottom here, it shows the tuning of the guitar. And it's just him in a room playing. There's a few other shots where it'll cut up close to the hands. But that's pretty much it. So, again, you didn't miss much, but next time, you guys are certainly welcome to speak up and say, hey, we can't see the video. Oh, speaking, I just did that voice. Are you guys familiar with Brian Regan? Let me know if you guys are familiar with Brian Regan. Oh, Stan thought I might be censoring. Yeah, if I was talking about the copyright thing, it's not the video, it's the audio. So if sometimes I'll do these reaction segments, and it depends. If it's a really big band and I play one of their popular songs, then a lot of times the audio will get picked up and it'll restrict the video so that people can't, find it or whatever. And now I can go into editing and I can actually trim out that section of the video to make it public again. But yeah. So no, it's not the video part. So it's the audio. Daniel says, Brian doesn't sound familiar. Stanley, are you familiar with Brian Regan? If you enjoy comedy, like stand-up comedy, Brian Regan is one of my favorites. I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Gaffigan. He's another favorite of mine. My two favorite stand-up comics are Brian Regan and Jim Gaffigan, and it really is a toss-up between the two of them. Whenever I listen to one of them, I'll listen to Jim Gaffigan and be like, man, Jim Gaffigan's my favorite. And then I'll listen to Brian and be like, man, Brian Regan's my favorite, So, it's kind of a tie between the two of them. But what I really appreciate about them and their comedy, they're really clever. A lot of comedians can just be kind of, a lot of comedians can be kind of crude, and it's almost like what they're saying isn't actually funny. They just put the F word in front of it. and because they're being kind of edgy, like somehow that makes it kind of funny somehow, I don't know. And so, I don't know. A lot of comedians, yeah, they're just kind of crude, and they're not really clever with what they're saying. They're just kind of just trying to be vulgar and edgy. But both comedians, Brian and Jim Gaffigan, they're actually clever. Like they're both kind of like, they have observational humor. They just take note of things that happen in day-to-day life and share this like really interesting perspective about it that's that you kind of relate with, and it's just really funny. The kind of perspective they put on it, and they've got funny characteristics and voices and facial expressions and things like that. But in my opinion, they're the best comedians out there. But I say all that to say this: Brian Regan was in our town this past Sunday. 1 second. I think my mic might have been okay. I thought it had turned down a little bit. Yeah, he was like in our backyard. So here's the story. About a month ago, I saw that Brian Regan was going to be at a venue in our town in Charlottesville, and so. I was like, oh, whoa, that's really cool. And, I'm not one to go to too many shows and things, but if it's something that I actually appreciate, if it's like one of my favorite bands or favorite artists, or in this case, one of my favorite comedians, it definitely gets my attention. And I always feel like if I can go, I should go. It's so easy to just be like, I don't know if I feel like, getting up and driving out there and finding parking. I don't know if I feel like spending money on that. It's so easy to just like stay at home and not do it. But I find almost every time if I, take the effort to go out and enjoy something like that, it's usually worthwhile. And but the only problem with this was with it being at the beginning of the year or being in January. These past couple weeks, I've just been like reassessing, my goals for the year and kind of trying to refine like my plan. Just been, getting reorganized, kind of handling like a lot of money management, a lot of going through all these notes that I take and sort of like getting refocused on, okay, what do I need to focus on to actually make progress in my career? So my mindset has kind of been like very work focused and like getting, reorganized. And so I was not at all thinking like, yeah, I want to go out and see a show. That was like kind of the last thing on my mind. But I kept note of it, and I figured like, well, let me, we'll just see what happens. When it gets closer, maybe I'll decide, then. And so it was the day before the show, Saturday, and I decided, I kind of wrapped up my day, and I was like, all right, let me see if there are tickets left. And when I checked, it seemed like they were sold out, from what I could tell. For whatever reason, they weren't available. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to miss that show, and I kind of accepted that and went on, Sunday came, and, Sundays I like to just take it easy. I like to rest, and Sunday is the day of the show, but I was playing video games, and I was finishing up. It was around like, 6:20, 6:25, something like that, and I was kind of finishing up with my video games session and was about to have dinner. Let's see. So I was about to have dinner, but I got a text from my brother-in-law. Now, by the way, this brother-in-law of mine, Jacob, he's actually the one who introduced me to Brian Regan. So he texted me. He's like, hey, did you know Brian Regan was in Charlottesville? And I texted him back like, yeah, I heard about that. It could have been a fun show, kind of saying like, yeah, that would have been cool to go see that. And then he texted me. He's like, there's 3 tickets left. He's like, and I'm like, what time is the show? 7 o'clock. So the show is only, the venue's like, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes away. It's like 30, 35 minutes till showtime. And he said, show's at 7 o'clock. And he's like, you want to go? And I'm like, you think so? And he's like, I think we should. And I said, all right, let's do it. It was kind of one of those things like, it's close. And again, it would have been easy to say, it's going to be a bit of a rush. I don't know if we can make it. Would have been fun, but I don't know if we can make it. But I felt like, come on, man, let's try it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So even though I was like totally like relaxed, like just in my bed playing video games, it was like, bam, go time. We got to get out of here. So I grabbed my jacket, slipped on my shoes, grabbed my wallet. He was buying tickets, and then he lives, we share the same driveway, so he wasn't far away, but I had to drive to his house. And I like ran downstairs. My family's down there, and we had some family visiting too. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to see Brian Regan. See ya!" Like super quick, just running by. And they had heard. I had told them of the show. I'd mentioned it like a month before. Yeah, I told him like, "Yeah, I'm going to see the show. Gotta go." So head out, got in the car, sped over to his house, met with him, and we ran outside, got in the vehicle, and so we're driving. Trying to hustle to get there. Now it's in the downtown area in our town, and it's hard to find parking there. There is there's a Staples, a Staples that we can park at. Well, I say we can park at. You're not really supposed to park there, but I've parked there for years, and just whenever I'm going downtown, and so far I haven't had any problems with it. But you're not really supposed to park there. But either way, that's where we parked, booked it, had to go through this hotel. And we were like running. Oh, when we parked, it was like 5 minutes till showtime. So we're like, we're so close. We got to go. I think we can make it. So we're like running and like sprinting to get there. We make it to the venue and show our tickets. There's like 2 minutes till showtime, and we made it. We got our tickets. We got inside, and some guy, valet, kind of showed us to our seats. We're sitting down, and we're like, oh my gosh, we made it. Now, thankfully, we might have had more time than we thought because the show didn't start right at 7, like a few minutes after. People were still kind of moving around, getting settled in and stuff. And even when the show did start, like my concern was I was afraid they were going to close the doors and not let anyone in. That was my concern. But thankfully, hopefully that wasn't the case. But thankfully there was an opening act. There was another comedian, drawing a blank on his name right now, but there was an opening act. And he was pretty funny. Like he was a good comedian, but it's amazing like how much funnier Brian Regan was. And I'm not trying to put down that comedian. Like he was good, but it's just amazing how amazing Brian Regan is. So he just came out and there was this electricity in the air. And man, it was such a fun show. My cheeks were sore just from smiling from the whole show. And, I was laughing and it was like new jokes too. It wasn't like he was telling jokes I'd heard before. It was all fresh material. And I don't know. It was. And that's the thing about comedians. Like sometimes there's comedians you like, but they're like Brian Regan's pretty consistent, but he's had some specials that are like hilarious, and then some that are like, oh, that was pretty good. Not his best, but it was still good. And thankfully, like this was hilarious, man. It was like a really fun show. And he got an encore at the end of it. We stood up and cheered for him, and he came back out for a few more minutes, did a few more jokes, and yeah, going home. It was just such a nice experience. I'm glad I got to share it with my brother-in-law. He's like a close friend of mine as well as family. I'm just glad we did it. And now it's like Daniel's saying here. I agree. You should go. That way, later on in life, you'll be able to tell people about the artist and say you saw this and the stories you can tell. And you're exactly right. Now I have this story I can tell and. Because it's so easy to just fall into a routine and just like get comfortable. Like, oh, I'm at home. I'm comfy in my bed playing video games. But come on, I do that all the time. I don't get to go see Brian Regan all the time. And so, I'm preaching to myself here. But it's just like, it's just worth it. Like when you have that chance, like you got to go out and do it because it gives you just stories, it gives you like an experience, and now you have a story that you can look back on and a memory, and that's something that now I can cherish for the rest of my life, so it was just such a fun event. But anyway, so if you're not familiar with Brian Regan, you should definitely check him out. He's a favorite comedian of mine, but not that I don't have that many favorite comedians. It's pretty much there's a few there's a few that are pretty good, and so if I see them, I'll be interested. But as far as like comedians I like, it's pretty much just Brian Regan and Jim Gaffigan. They're my top two. Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. So Daniel says, thinking about buying tickets to go see Metallica and Pantera, and that could be a sick show. And I think, if I remember, I think you said you've seen Metallica before. If you haven't, maybe consider it. I don't know. That's something you've got to assess yourself. I can say for me personally, like, I don't go to too many shows, and I'll say this. I'm more of a quality over quantity guy. So I'm not saying that the moral of the story is to go see more shows, but the moral of the story is when there's something that resonates with you, you've got to act on it, you know? Like, again, Brian Regan, let's see, like there's a comedian, I think his name's Jeff Dunham, you know? He's a good comedian. If he came to town, he's good, but, you know, he wouldn't, for me, he wouldn't be worth going out to see. Like, it wouldn't matter. And if we're bringing this back to music, let's see here. Trying to think. I mean, even a band like Silverstein, like, I actually really like Silverstein, but if they were just coming to play a show, I don't know if I would just go to see Silverstein. Now, if they were with a few other bands, maybe I would go, but, you know, I'm not sure that I would do that, but, oh my gosh, if XTOL came, you know, XTOL is one of my favorite bands. I don't know if they ever play in the States, so if they came, I would have to go to that show, you know. Trying to think, Silosis. Oh my gosh, I'm hoping Silosis will come to the States. If Silosis was playing anywhere nearby, I'd have to go to that show. So you see the difference? It's like there's some bands where it's like, you know, I like them, like I could go see them, but and then there's some bands where it's like, oh my gosh, I would have to go see them. Like if I got the chance, I'd have to go see them, you know. So I think that's the assessment that you got to make. Yeah, and I will say this, just because you've seen them once before doesn't mean that you can't go see them again. It's not like, oh, I've seen them once before. Because, again, another one of my favorite bands is Between the Buried and Me, and I've seen them at least twice, maybe 3 times, but I know I've seen them twice live. But they're one of my favorite bands. And it would be the other 2 bands I mentioned, XTOL, Silosis, it would be the same thing, you know. If I saw them live and it was a great experience, then I'd probably have to see them live every time they came to town. But again, those guys, they're like in my top 5, you know. They're again, quality over quantity. They're like some of my favorite bands right there. So I think that's the thing you've got to weigh is like how much of a favorite are they, and you know, how much of an opportunity is this? That's awesome. Yeah, Daniel says he's seen Megadeth like 3 or 5 times, something like that. And hey, you know, that's how it goes. If it's one of your favorite bands and they're good live, anytime you get the opportunity, you got to catch them. So, all right, gonna play a couple more tracks for you. Gonna play an instrumental and then close out with one last song. And I think that's going to be it for a stream. But since we're talking about shows, I've probably asked this question before, but let me ask, what are some of the best shows you've seen? And they can be music related, or if you've seen any comedians. That's another question. Let me ask, like, you know, maybe it's a comedy show, something like that, you know. So any show, not just music related, but what are some of the best shows you've seen? And who are your favorite comedians, if you have any? So let me know. Here's an instrumental. Hope you like it. Miguel. All right. All right, so I think we are getting close to wrapping things up here. But just some quick updates, some things going on. So I've been working on a lot of videos lately. I'm kind of excited. Like I said, I've sort of got this system set up, and I'm excited for what's to come. Actually, real quick before I get into that, let's see here. Daniel says some of the best shows: Metallica, Megadeth, first time; Sympathy X, Paralandra, Iron Maiden, really good. Yeah, I bet that was cool. Slayer, Judas Priest. So yeah, it sounds like you've been to a lot of good shows. So yeah, that's some good stuff to catch right there. But yeah, so what's kind of cool is last year I released more music than I had in like the past 3 or 4 years. And because of that, now that I'm able to release more music and I kind of know like how to release it, it makes it a lot easier to make content. Like something I've struggled with on YouTube is I've wanted to be a songwriter, but I don't know. I've sort of struggled with what it means to be an artist on YouTube versus what it means to be like a YouTuber, you know? Like, so I was making music-related videos, but they weren't the videos that I wanted to make, you know? I did a lot of tutorials, a lot of like lesson videos or like analysis things, and they were fun and stuff, but that's not really what I wanted to do. I want to write songs, and but I just felt like my mixes weren't good enough to release songs, but now that they are, you know, now that I've kind of got a way to release songs at a good quality standard, it's changed the kind of content I can make. Now the content I make, it's not just like random music related content. It's stuff based off of the songs I've released. I can use the songs I've released to inspire the content that I want to make from now on. So so there's a few things I'm doing. Basically, the main plan is to put out shorts, and then with every song I release, to put out a one-man band video. But the shorts are going to be related. So not similar to the, you know, it's not just the shorts for the music video. That was just shorts to promote that particular video. But I'm hoping to do kind of a few things. Like one, hoping to do some duets just to showcase my songwriting. You know, find some drummers who have posted drum beats on TikTok or something, and then just write some music to it. I've done that before, so I'm hoping to do a little bit more of that. Also, going to post like some skate clips. Just, you know, I go to the skate park every Saturday, so trying to capture some clips, and then I can put my music as the background for those clips and stuff. So things like that. There's a few other shorts. Those are like kind of the main ones, and then there's like some other ideas that I'll pull out. Like I actually made one. I made a video or a short of me playing the rhythm section for my song For You during the guitar solo, just playing the rhythm section and challenging people to write their best solo over it. So it's kind of a video for people to interact, and then I promote afterwards. I say, hey, if you want to hear my solo, check out the song For You by Quincy Kane. So it's kind of a way to promote my song while also sort of engaging and attracting other people. So those are the kind of shorts I'm going to make. And again, it's content that's based off of the songs that I've released. And then sort of my big content, again, I'm going to continue doing these streams, but the songs that I'm releasing this year, these are songs that I haven't done a one-man band video for them, so it's kind of nice. I've released all the songs that I've done one-man band videos for in the past, so now it's a clean slate. Like I don't have to worry like, oh, I've already released a video. So all these new songs now, that's what I can do. So I'm going to release more of those one-man band videos. And then I'm trying to do more viewers' comments. So it's kind of nice, hopefully, kind of like in between each release, like after I put out a song, I can go read the comments of that song and the comments of any of the shorts or other videos I've posted, and then kind of select them. And that's kind of a way to, again, just more ways to kind of engage with the audience, with you guys who are, you know, whenever you're watching videos and commenting, just being able to acknowledge that kind of stuff. So Yeah, so I've kind of got some videos made, and I'm going to have them scheduled, so they'll be posting over the next few weeks. Hey, we got Brain Freeze in the chat. Thanks for joining. Never checked out your stuff, brother. Looking forward to hearing you. Well, thanks. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm about to play a song here in a moment. I'm just kind of giving everyone an update on some of the things I've been working on for this year. I've got some videos coming out soon. That's what I've been working on. And so while these videos are, are being posted on YouTube, I'm going to be working on a new song. It was a song I played earlier called Erase Myself. That's the song I'm currently in the process of producing. And not too much is left. I need to re-record the guitars. Just need to get those recorded properly, and just with new strings and that kind of thing. I need to record the vocals and trying to think, and then mixing, mastering, all that stuff, and then I'll have to shoot the playthrough video for it. So, Brain Freeze, glad to have you. Let me go ahead and play this song for you. I think, sorry that you might have caught the end of the stream here, but I tell you what, this song goes out to you. So, now this is actually my most recent song that I have released. I just put out a music video for this song a few weeks ago, pretty recently. So if you haven't seen the music video, definitely be sure to check it out. But this is a recent song of mine. This one's called Waking Up, and this one goes out to Brain Freeze. Thanks, Brain Freeze. Just catching, reading your comments. Yeah, it's an original song. So, song I wrote, song just put out recently, and here we go. It's too much effort to pull away the covers. Hold me down and won't let go. It smothers me, the weight of this anxiety pressing me into my pillow. A blissful sleep, chasing lies and counting sheep. Sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am, with all I have, waking up, facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. Waking up so I can start to dream. I toss and turn, and tick by talk the hours burn, pleading for this night to end. A part of me begging to go back to sleep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am, with all I have, waking up, facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. You're not worth less. You have purpose. Wake up, see it. Time to dream it. can't stop, no. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. So here I am with all I have. I'm waking up. I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down. I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. Thank you. Again, that song is called Waking Up. There goes my backing track for another song. All right, let's see what's happening in the chat. Dang, love the chord voice. Thanks, appreciate that. Sorry to monopolize the chat, but I love your voice too. Really love the quick vibrato you have. Thank you, appreciate that. And hey, chat's good. I like seeing activity. And the more activity there is in the chat, there's more for me to interact with, so I appreciate that. Let's see here. Stan, appreciate that. Brain Free says, makes me want to jump on the drums and play along. That's holy screams too. Sick man, nicely done. Goes out to me, everyone. I heard it. Yep, that one went out to Brain Freeze. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Stanley says nailed it. Appreciate that, guys. I been putting out original songs for a while. I've been doing these streams. This is stream number 66 for me, so I've been doing them for a little over a year now. But this is the second stream of the new year. And appreciate you tuning in. Again, that's a song I just recently released, so that one's available on Spotify or AppleMusic or wherever you like to listen to your music. You can also download it for free from Bandcamp. I do have some links to that. I'm going to post some links at the end here where you can find my music. And I actually put out a music video just recently for that song, so if you haven't seen it yet, definitely be sure to check it out. It's actually one of my softer songs, kind of soft and then sort of builds up to a climax and stuff. But I'd say I'm kind of describe my music as alternative metalcore. You know, definitely have some metalcore. Okay, yeah. So I know you're new here, asking about the water fountain. Tell us about the water fountain in your room. Living the dream. Yeah, that would be kind of awesome if it was. So I actually do these live streams from my church. So the internet's a lot faster here than my house, and so I'm actually in the hallway of my church, and I only live like 5 minutes from here. So I do these streams every Thursday. Absolutely going to check out your other stuff. Yeah, thanks. I've released a few other songs. You can find them, again, wherever you like to listen to music, Spotify. I've got playlists on YouTube here of all the songs I've released so far, and I'm hoping to release more songs this year. I think. I tell you what, Brain Freeze, I always love it when we have new people in the chat. So I have been streaming for about 2 hours now, so I am going to wrap this up. But I'm going to play one more song for you since you're a newcomer. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. So I've already done this song, so this is kind of a repeat. So sorry, Daniel and Stan. Hope you all don't mind hearing the song again. But this is a song that I'm going to be releasing soon. This is the next song I'm planning to release. I still have to go through some production with it, but it should be coming out within the next month or so. Let's see here. I actually wondered if it was in a church. I led the worship team in my church for like 15 years or so. Great, man. Yeah. Not anymore, but miss it. Yeah, that's kind of my involvement here as well. And actually Stanley, who's in the chat, he plays bass for Okay, so after COVID, we've got 2 services at our church now. We have a 9 a.m. service and an 11 a.m. service, and so we've got 2 different bands that play for each service. So I say that I play for both services, but Stan plays bass for the 9 a.m. service. So yeah, and then Daniel's from Texas. So I've never met Daniel in person, but he's one who attends frequently, and Daniel's awesome. Daniel actually, if you want to check out some shredding, Daniel posted a video pretty recently playing the guitar parts for the song Mr. Crowley. So yeah, he's kind of shredding on that, so you might have to check that out too. Dan and Stan, I'm sorry, brothers. I got to hear it. Yeah, no problem. This one is good. And yeah. So Daniel, it's Daniel backwards. I'm not sure what the actually, Daniel, maybe you can tell me what is the OPI at the end, because the first letters spelled backwards are Daniel, but is it Daniel Opie, Epo? You know, I'm not sure what the last bit of your screen name is. Oh, there's Stanley. Yep. Very cool, guys. Yeah, Dan, drop that channel. Yep. So you'll have to drop by his channel sometime. So yeah, definitely welcome Brain Freeze. But yeah, this is a song. I did play it earlier in the set, but I'll go ahead and play it one more time, and then we'll bring things to a close. But this is the song that I'm planning to release next. Last year, I managed to release 4 songs, which is actually the most songs I've been able to release. This year, I have a goal of releasing 8 songs. I'm hoping I can do that. I think I can do that. And so I've already picked out the 8 songs that I'm planning to release, and this is one of them. So this is the first song I'm hoping to release this year. And again, I'm hoping to put it out within the next, month or so, something like that. Lord willing, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, this one's called Erase Myself, and yeah, this one goes out to Brain Freeze, so. Sorry, one second. I'm reading the chat. So, reading Daniel's. So this is Daniel's Star Wars name, is what that is. Tried to come up with something to sound cooler, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I just added Opie. Yeah, really has no meaning. So, I'm actually kind of curious. Do you have a way of pronouncing that first part, like Lenad Opie or Lena Dopey, Lena Doppy? I don't know if you actually pronounce it a certain way, or if you just kind of, be curious to hear how that sounds. 2 songs for me. Yep, 2 songs for you. It's all right. You guys keep chatting. I'll go ahead and play the song, and then I'll catch up in the chat later. Again, I like seeing activity in the chat. All right, here we go. Yep, another song for Brain Freeze. This one's called Erase Myself. This one's a little more upbeat than the other song. I'll brace myself for all this pain, erase myself and start again. Grab a hold of me and throw me in the deep end. Show me the flame that burns inside of me, and I'll brace myself for all this pain, erase myself and start again, and I'll face myself with honesty, erase myself and start again. It's time to change what used to define me. Resist the pain. I'll have to keep fighting. Ignite the flame that's deep down inside me. It hurts at first, but worth all the pain to see myself and not be ashamed. It hurts at first, but worth all the pain. Myself and not be ashamed. And I'll brace myself for all this pain. Erase myself and start again. And I'll face myself with honesty. Erase myself. Start again. Thank you. Again, that one's called Erase Myself, and I'm hoping to release that song next, so keep an eye out for it, or an ear out, whichever. All right, let's see here. All right, yep, catching up with the chat real quick. Yeah, Leonadopi. Leonadopi, okay. I'm going to guess Leonadopi. Nope, other Leonadopi. Sounds like that's, or Leonadopi. Yep. All right. Sorry, y'all. I admit I've been drinking a bit. Don't judge. I won't judge, but I appreciate the, the interaction. Again, like I said, I like some activity in the chat. So there's the slide. Yep. Wow, just got some Trust Company vibes with the first half of that verse. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know if I've heard of Trust Company. Love it. Love the muted scale picking. Thank you. It's amazing what a well-placed octave could do. Yep, octaves can do quite a bit. Nice. From the sound of it, Brain Freeze, do you play some guitar yourself? And you mentioned drumming earlier, so what do you like to play? Do you play guitar? Do you play drums? Do you play a few instruments? Fill me in a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your musical background. I just figured out what other vocalist I'm hearing. I think it's According to John, back from the days when To Acquire the Fire. Okay. Daniel says, one thing I've always appreciated about Quincy is his ability to sing and play at the same time, just like James Hetfield, Dave Mustaine, Riff Masters. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. It's kind of funny. I almost, I would feel awkward without an instrument in my hands. If I were to try singing, like just the mic, and like I've done it before, but it really is awkward for me. I'm like, man, what do I do? What do I do with my hands? I don't know. It's nice having an instrument in my hand when I try singing. Thanks, Stanley. Appreciate that. For sure, man. I'm so blown away by James Hetfield. He is Metallica to me, by the way. Yep. Showing my age probably by Trust Company. Not necessarily. We've got kind of a wide range here. Stan might be the oldest in the chat, but I don't mean that insultingly, but it's kind of nice because we've got, I think Stan and Daniel are both, pretty big, Metallica and Metallica fans. I know Daniel likes we were just mentioning Megadeth earlier, and he was mentioning a bunch of live shows he'd gone to see of some great older bands, and I definitely like a lot of that stuff. My influence, I would say, comes from, like some of my personal favorite bands. For the style of music under my name, Quincy Kane, my biggest influences are probably bands like Chevelle, Killswitch Engage, and Flyleaf. So kind of some alternative metal bands and metalcore bands. But then I like kind of a wide variety of stuff. I like a lot of progressive metal and technical metal. So bands like Silosis or Extol or the Faceless. Those are a few favorites of mine. Between the Buried and Me. But yeah, let's see here. I love both. I like guitar the best, but I played drums in my high school band. That's cool. With my cousins. Very nice. Get that, man. I feel so much more comfortable with an instrument. Yep. So much more nervous on my own. Yep. Stan, how old are you, brother? 46. Yep. I really love Metallica. I really just can't deal with Lars. Yeah, I know some people have mixed feelings about Lars and stuff, and but I think it's I don't know. I think it's pretty commendable of the band to keep him around and stuff. And I know he can stumble a little bit, but I think most of the time he keeps it together. Let's see. Chevelle was my favorite band a few years back. Yeah, Chevelle's a favorite of mine. Love them. When I played drums a ton, it was The Red. Yep, can't remember the other songs. Mia, I think, yeah. The Pain Below. Yeah. Let's see here. 1 second. You said Pain Below. Yeah, that's a good one. That might be where I'm getting the vibrato from. Pete is definitely like a big influence in my singing for sure. There's a few. It's kind of funny. I love his voice and I love kind of the way he sings. So I definitely draw some influence from that. And then I've had to. I try to find some vocalists that I kind of sound similar to. Like some people will say, "Hey, you kind of sound like so and so," so I'll kind of check out their singing and try to adapt that a little bit because I figure, hey, if people say I kind of sound like them, I should try to imitate them a little bit so that I can sound better. Because I've had to come a long way with my voice. I wasn't just like born like naturally able to sing and stuff. I had to work pretty hard at it, really practice. Like I always could like sing okay, but I had like good and bad days. I just had no consistency, and it just took a lot of practice. So the stuff I've heard from it's from other people and from what I've heard in like certain recordings. Probably the best compliment I've gotten. Someone said I kind of sounded like Chester Bennington. Sorry, not Chester Bennington. Yes, I wish that, but who's it? Brendan Urie from Panic of the Disco, and I kind of get that. I think there's a certain. I think the way I sing is maybe similar to the way he sings. I don't know that my voice is exactly like his, but I've got a playlist of songs with like vocalists that I kind of sound similar to, and I'll practice singing along with them. So I have got a few Panic of the Disco songs, and I'll kind of try to imitate some of his voice a little bit. Who else was it? I mentioned Chester Bennington because in some of my recordings, when I practice singing with grit, kind of adding some grit, I did one song. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but near the end of it, when I added grit, it was kind of like, hey, that kind of sounded like Chester a little bit, so, which is not a bad thing at all. So I kind of try to imitate him a little bit. Let's see. I think I've been told. I think the vocalist from Silverstein, a little bit of that. Trying to remember. I've kind of have it more written down, but definitely Pete from Chevelle. As far as like the way the way I sing, like kind of the character behind it, I definitely draw a lot of influence from him. He's got the quick vibrato that reminds me of you. Yeah, yeah. I actually get Chester a bit, to be honest. Well, thanks. I appreciate that with his high tone and screams. And yeah, when I do kind of the grit, sometimes it can be sort of similar to the tone that he would get, which again is not a bad thing. He was a phenomenal vocalist. If you're interested in learning how to scream, you should check out Voice Hacks on YouTube. There's a channel called Voice Hacks. There's a vocal coach named oh my gosh, Mary Zimmer is what her name is. I think she's in a band, maybe a couple bands or something, but she's a vocal coach, and she kind of specializes in like rock singing and that kind of thing. And she's got videos about singing with grit and screaming, and there's kind of two different kinds of screaming. There's sort of a false chord scream that's sort of that's kind of the easier one. That's the one I learned first. And that's sort of, like when you get frustrated and you go, like that, it's kind of that. You just sort of do that, that's right, Voice Hacks. You've got it. Yep. Check that out. But if you can just kind of make that frustrated, like try to relax and just kind of let that, like try to let your throat relax and stay open and just kind of sort of do that and kind of practice that sound first. And then you just put a little more oomph behind it and kind of get that, try like an O or like an oo or something, and you're almost taking the voice out of it. So you really want to relax when you do that. But that's a pretty good technique for getting like those really low, like kind of guttural growls. And then the other one is fry screams. That one I'm still working on myself. That one's a little trickier, so I might let her try to explain that. But fry screams are a weird sensation. I've actually had to watch a few videos like just to learn how to fry scream, and there's some pretty delicate techniques in getting that. So music has always been such a huge part of my life. I fell away from it a bit when I got a job as a designer in the video game industry. Dude, that's cool. I really need to get back to it, though. Okay, good tip on that scream. Yeah, hope that helps out. Dude, that is cool that you do some video game designing and stuff. That's a pretty cool job. And yeah, I know how that can be sometimes, where sometimes there's something you appreciate, but then you have certain obligations that kind of take away your ability to enjoy that thing, that you appreciate, So yeah, sometimes it just takes some balance or just finding a certain time that you can reserve to appreciate those other things, whether it's music or video games or whatever it might be. Well, dude, brain freeze. I definitely appreciate you tuning in. I'm actually really enjoying chatting with you, so I'd love to get to know you more. But I have been streaming for about 2.5 hours. I probably need to get me some dinner, and I'm not sure where you're from. I'm on the East Coast right now, so it's 8 o'clock right now. So I got to get some dinner and then be winding down pretty soon. But and also, would you like me to call? Let me say this: would you like me to call you Brain Freeze, or is there a certain name you'd like me to call you? Let me know if you want Brain Freeze or if you want me to call you by your first name. But Stanley, Brain Freeze, Daniel, I appreciate you guys tuning in. East Coast also, Maryland, nice. Yeah, I'm in Virginia right now. Love my time here. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, I do these streams every Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. And so, yeah, hopefully you can tune in again. I'd love to, get to know you some and chat with you. I'll play some songs then. But yeah, to all you, really appreciate you tuning in. Anyone watching now or on the replay, thank you so much. If you'd like to support me, there's a link in the description to a virtual tip jar, and I certainly appreciate that. If you don't have the financial means to support me, my biggest goal right now is building an audience, so you can help me in doing that a few ways. One, there's a link to sign up for my email list. That way I can notify you whenever I release a new song or certain videos or when I'm going live, merchandise, that kind of thing. So appreciate you doing that. But also just liking the video, subscribing to the channel, inviting people to the live stream, sharing my content, sharing my music. All that stuff just helps me. Again, just trying to build an audience right now. And so I certainly appreciate, meeting people who connect with the music. But Brian, I see. Yep, see that. My name is Brian, so that works. Cool. Sub to you, so I'll see you when you're on. Appreciate that, Brian. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful evening or morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.